Oh, finally, it's over with. Every mom here in the room knows it's never done. You don't never stop investing into your kids just because they turned 18. It don't happen. When God calls you to the table because he has something to tell you, don't miss it. I'm going to tell you this. If you miss heaven, if you miss eternal life with Jesus, biggest mistake your life would ever make is missing heaven. You can miss that rock concert. You can miss an opportunity with a better job. But if you miss heaven, you missed everything. I asked God, why on earth are you saying this message today? Why on earth are you giving this exact message? He said, because there's somebody here, if they don't hear this right now, their life is going to never be the same. Something's going to change when somebody walks out of this room today. And they've got to hear this. Okay, God. If all the men miss this feast, you could just, if all they missed was dinner, you could just say it was a minor mistake. I mean, burgers on the grill. But when you realize that Jesus was talking about missing the kingdom of heaven, it becomes a bigger story. Because if you miss heaven, you miss everything. Life is only this big at the end of the rope. See it right now? Little red thing they painted on the end of that little rope. Francis Chan does it. He says, that's life. You know, they have, I think they wax into the rope so it doesn't fray. Put some varnish on it. That is life. You see that rope that goes from here and you can't see the end? That's eternity. What you do right now, the decision you make today, right now, is going to determine that for the rest of your life. That mistake was so big that there's no other mistake that can come close. When God invites you to his house, and you say, I'm too busy, then you go on the list of the world's biggest mistakes ever is turning down Jesus. A skeptic once asked a Christian, what if you die and discover heaven is not real? The Christian said, it will be indeed a terrible disappointment if I find out heaven is not real, but at least I've enjoyed living with the hope. So suppose when you die, you discover, he said, that hell really is real, and you made a mistake. No second chances. 2 men and 1 young person were found dead in Death Valley. They had abandoned their car. Now, Death Valley is in Arizona, I believe, right? Somewhere? California? California. It's a desert. It's like 121 degrees or something like that. 129 degrees. Nothing lives in Death Valley. But the car broke down. They abandoned their car and they were strung out in line. One was 7 miles from the car. The next one was found 14 miles from the car. And the last one had made it 17 miles from the car. And obviously they were trying to get back to a ranch that they had passed 30 miles back. But either way of that road, 1 mile away was a spring of water and a grove of willows. But they didn't know it because they chose the wrong direction in which to walk. But nobody knew. It cost them their life. The tragedy is a deadly mistake. No second chances there. Sometimes God will use the mistakes you make for his good. He'll bring you through something because he's got a plan for your life. He's going to turn what the enemy meant for evil to good for you. A man by the name of Klein, not you, Chelsea. When I read it, it goes, Chelsea Klein? I said, no. A man by the name of Klein was so defeated and discouraged. He felt that no one cared for him. And so he was just going to end his life. And he walked down the street brooding, and he passed the church where they were singing, "Saved by the grace alone, that is all my plea. Jesus died for all mankind. Jesus died for me." He stopped and he listened. He could not believe it when they sang it again, that Jesus died for all mankind. And he thought they were singing, "Jesus died for old man Klein." And he slipped into the back of the church. He listened to the good news that Jesus did die for all mankind, and that included old man Klein. And he received Jesus that night, became a child of God. His big mistake of listening wrong actually brought him to the banquet table for the dinner. I love Felix Neff, a Swiss reformer. He saw a man he thought was an old friend. He tapped him on his shoulder and he said, how's your soul? Turn around, the guy. You ever tap somebody on the shoulder and say, "Oh, you look so good pregnant," and find out it's not them? Or you find out they're not pregnant, and you stuffed your foot in your mouth that they had the baby 6 months ago? I'll tell you what, he tapped the man on the shoulder and he said, "How is your soul?" The man turned around, a complete stranger. My soul? Oh, never mind, I'm sorry. I thought you were one of my other friends. I was mistaken. I didn't mean to do that. 4 years later, that stranger came to one of the meetings where he was preaching. Walked up to him and said, "You remember me?" "Oh, actually, no. I'm the guy you asked, how is your soul?" On that day, I began to think, how is my soul? I want you to know, I gave my life to Jesus Christ because of your mistake. Jesus says this, "I'm the way and the truth and the life, and no one comes into the Father but by me. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If you would open the door, I will come into your life, and I will never leave you, and I will never forsake you. And don't come to me and say, I got to change before I come." Jesus takes you just like you are. Then he works in your life. He works in your life. All you got to do is come. You got a ticket and a free pass to the dinner table. And God said, "Come, now is the day of salvation." And I'm like, "Lord, can you tell me why I'm preaching this sermon today?" He said, "There's somebody here. I'm going to position them to hear this message. You're to preach this message because somebody has to hear this today. That I'm asking them, would you come to me and give me your life? Your whole life. And I will set you free. And I will clean you up. And I will deliver you if you will come." The whole sermon was planned around you. Maybe there's 3 or 4 of you, I don't know. The whole sermon. God said, do not make the biggest mistake and leave this service not knowing that you said, "Jesus, be my Lord and Savior. Take my life and save me. Can